Lakers. They're banged up, right? And they're
They're also
gonna
talking
be,
about Donovan Mitchell with a high ankle sprain
He's
right now.
fine.
What?
Welcome to the 4th episode of 5280 Real Talk. I'm Gavin Thunberg.
I'm Avi Cohn.
And I'm Balan Schneegel.
This episode's trivia question is, who has the most career double-doubles in NBA history? Your options are Hakeem Olajuwon, Tim Duncan, Wilt Chamberlain, and Robert Parrish. Stay tuned to the end of the video to see if you get it right.
Alright, our games of the week. Let's start off with Suns vs. Sixers. Who do you guys have?
I got the Sixers in this one. I think the Suns are very hot right now, but like we said a few episodes ago, Danny Green, best 3-and-D player in the league.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
I got Danny Green carrying the Sixers. Not actually carrying, but I think that, to be serious, he can guard Devin Booker. And that's why I have the Sixers winning this one as well.
And also, who is going to guard Ben Simmons?
Yeah, and
DeAndre.
if
or
there's
not
one person,
Embiid,
if
or
there's a
Embiid.
couple, we're forgetting that Ben Simmons should win Defensive Player of the Year, or is at least a top 2 candidate, and he can guard Chris Paul.
I think
He's going to walk up.
it's going to be a good game. Two teams that are in really similar situations, both at the top of their divisions, fighting to go up there. I'm going to take the Suns, though, because I think the Suns are more motivated to get that 8 seed, or to get the 1 seed so they can play the 8 seed.
to get the 8 seed.
No, to get the 1 seed so they can play the 8 seed. Because I think in the West, the difference between the 7 seed and the 8 seed is going to be pretty big. Because the 7 seed you could play the Mavericks, and the 8 seed you could play probably the Warriors, it's my guess, but you could play the Spurs, you could play...
Okay, and the Sixers are right there also to get the 1 seed.
Yeah, but the thing is, in the East, it's not as big of a deal to get the 1 seed as it is in the
I
West.
disagree.
I think that the 1 through 8 in the West is so good that it honestly, it kind of doesn't really matter what seed you are as long as you have home court advantage.
But wouldn't you...
Wait, because in the East, the 8 seed is substantially worse than the 5th seed.
Yeah,
when in the
that's
West,
true.
it's not like that. So I think getting the 1 seed in the East is more important than getting it in the West.
I think the West is definitely a more stacked conference, but like you said,
that's why it doesn't matter.
every
as much.
team you're going to play is going to be a really good team.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing is, I think... Wouldn't you guys agree that you would much rather play whoever's going to get the 8 seed? Maybe not the Warriors, I'll admit, but whoever's going to get the 8 seed over the Mavericks or the Blazers, or even the Nuggets, and maybe even the Lakers.
The 8th seed could very well be the Mavericks.
Yeah, it could. That's
Exactly. That's what we're saying.
But I think the 7 seed, no matter what, is going to be a good team. And the 8 seed might be...
and the 8 seed could also be a very good team.
It could. That's what I'm saying.
I think it will.
The 7 seed is going to be undoubtedly a good team.
Okay, but in the East, the 8th seed is going to be like Charlotte.
Exactly. That's why it doesn't...
Yeah.
And the 7 seed is
So
going to be
that's why
like...
it does matter more.
And the 7 seed is going to be like
Miami.
New York.
Miami.
could be
Miami's
Miami.
7th right now.
Yeah.
And they're 1.5 games back of New York, which is kind of a lot.
No, it's not.
It's not a
I feel
lot.
like you're kind of mixing it up. I feel like it's more important to be the 1 seed in the East because then you'll play against a worse team. When in the West, all the teams are so good, it doesn't even matter.
I
The
just
8th
think...
seed's going to be good this year.
I just think there's a bigger gap between the seal of the 7 seed and the 8 seed in the West than in the East.
I disagree.
You
If
disagree.
it
Unless it's the Heat. If the Heat get the 7 seed, I agree.
that's a huge gap
That's
between
a big
the
gap.
Heat and
but
Charlotte.
if it's the Knicks and Charlotte, who cares?
Julius Randle, bro.
The Sixers are going to beat either of those teams in 5 games. All right. Now moving on to our next game of the week, we got Red Sox versus Mariners. Avi, who you got?
I'm taking the Red Sox in this one. I think that the Red Sox have surprised me so far. I really did not think they were going to be good at all this year after losing, Benintendi, Bradley Jr., and Mookie Betts, all their outfielders. But they've impressed me so far, Verdugo, Devers, and I just think the Red Sox are going to take this.
Yeah, Gavin.
I'm going to go with the Mariners in this one. They're 10-6, and they just beat Houston 7-10. I think they're playing pretty good ball.
Yeah, the Mariners are pretty streaky right now, but I think the Red Sox are better right now at this point because they started off, it looked like it was going to be a train wreck. They got swept by the Orioles, and they won, I believe, 6 games in a row.
Yeah.
They also just lost.
They
their
just
last
lost.
game.
They just lost. But in baseball, one loss is like, as opposed to the NBA,
Yeah.
one loss can change momentum. In
Yeah.
baseball, I don't think it's like that in baseball.
They also, one thing I like about the Red Sox is in their second series of the year, they swept the Rays, and the
Yeah.
Rays are a really good team. So for the Red Sox to do that, I mean, the Rays were in the World Series last year. That was impressive to me.
I think these are two surprising teams. That's why we picked it to be the primetime game, because I think these are two surprising teams that are both fighting to beat out expectations.
I agree.
And I think it could go south for either of these teams soon, but at
Yeah.
this moment in time, I think it's going to be a fun series. It could go either way, but I'm going to take the Red Sox.
Okay.
All right.
All right, now let's move on to our power rankings for the NBA, our top 3
As of right now,
as of right now, not for the playoffs.
Yeah,
not-
just right now.
just right now in this moment. My 3 are the Sixers, Suns, and the Clippers in that order.
I feel like there could be so many teams in this top 3.
I agree.
So it's kind of like hard to say that that's absolutely wrong, but I think that the Jazz deserve to be in there. I think that I feel like the Jazz really deserve to be in there.
The only reason I didn't put the Jazz in mine right now is because Donovan Mitchell is out.
And also, if I were to pick between, I actually don't have the Jazz or the Suns in mind, but if I were to pick between one of them, I would pick the Suns.
All right, who do you guys have?
I have the Sixers, Clippers, and then the Celtics in that order.
I got the Jazz, the Sixers, and the Nuggets.
You have the Nuggets.
I do.
The Nuggets.
I'm telling you, I think they're.
Don't say they're better than without Jamal
I'm saying
Murray.
this.
Don't.
In the
say-
regular season,
Oh no!
I think that the Nuggets are potentially better than they without Jamal Murray.
Are you kidding me right now?
Jamal Murray is one of the few players on the Nuggets that is more about, I would say, more about himself. He's not a selfish player, but I think he's a little more about himself than winning. Him and Porter.
What?
I think so. And I think that Porter is just
Jamal
playing.
Murray has a will to win that I've seen very few players.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, he has a will to win in the playoffs.
No, in
This
the
is the regular season.
In
We're
the
talking about the
regular
regular season right
in
now.
the regular season.
In everything.
He's so inconsistent. He's such an inconsistent player.
I agree, but that doesn't mean that they're worse without him.
I'm not saying they're much worse, but I also think they're still a really good team without him.
They just
but
beat
top 3 in the league right
top
now?
3 in the league.
I think it's possible. With the Nets are not playing
Mm.
great and they're a little banged up.
That's
true.
Okay, and then I think that they're better than
What
most
about,
of the
like,
other teams. The
the
Lakers
Suns?
are out. The Lakers are.
What about the Clippers?
I'm not really sold on the Suns.
What about the Clippers?
The
Or the
Clippers.
Bucks?
I think the Clippers are a good team. That's why I said it's tough to see. Like it's tough to say the top 3
But
teams.
you
But I
would
think
really put the Clippers behind
in the regular
Nuggets.
season, I kind of like the Nuggets more.
I get that, but the Clippers just came off a 7-game winning streak,
Yeah.
and they
Okay, and the
they
Nuggets.
only lost
Nuggets are what 8-1 in their last.
8
Yeah.
2 in their last 10. But the Clippers are still 7-3 in their last 10.
and also
And
the
what's better, 7-3 or 8-2?
all right.
Who's
Some of those
And
games
did the
who's
Nuggets,
ahead of
wait,
who?
wait. I'm pretty sure the Nuggets beat the Clippers, right?
that was
Without
with
Jamal Murray.
with Jamal. Murray.
No, it was not.
That was with Jamal.
No, it
Murray.
was not.
I'm 100.
I will look
That
at
was
it.
with Jamal Murray.
I'll check.
Yeah, and they're better without him. So wouldn't that even make them even better?
Oh my goodness, they're not better with.
Okay, against the Clippers,
Yes, he was their leading
the
scorer.
Nuggets won by 7, and Jamal Murray had 23 points.
Yes, with Jamal Murray.
Okay, but I said that they're better without Jamal Murray during the regular season.
Okay, but since Jamal Murray has gotten injured, before that they were a lot closer. Right now they're 2 games back.
Obviously,
of the
when you
Clippers.
use
No,
a
they're
big
2-0
name,
without Jamal Murray. I don't care. That.
obviously when you lose a big name player like Jamal Murray, you're like, oh, they're way worse, and which is what I initially thought and
I
what
don't
I
think
said
they're way
last
worse.
episode.
They're definitely not a better team. I wouldn't have.
They're
that.
just as good, and
No.
I think they're pretty much just as good.
Are you
during the regular
insane?
season? During the regular season, and when Jamal Murray, when Jamal Murray was playing, would you have them in the top 3 at this moment right now?
Yes,
Right.
I would have them. Maybe not top 3, definitely top 5. I wouldn't have them in
Yeah.
the top 5 right now. I would have them probably
Really?
6th or 7th.
Yeah, I agree.
Who would you have in the next 2 spots?
I would have the
The
Jazz
Bucks.
and the Bucks.
the Bucks.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I could see them being 5th. I could.
No, I would say 6th for the Nuggets. All right, mine. I have the Sixers at number 1. I think the Sixers is really hot right now. I have the Clippers at 2. I really like how the Clippers are playing right now. And yes, they lost to the Nuggets with Jamal Murray, but it was still a good game. And my third one is Boston Celtics. But the Boston Celtics right now, they're on a 6-game win streak.
Okay.
They just beat the Warriors when
Ooh,
Curry had 47.
wow, they beat
Curry
the
had
Warriors.
47.
I thought you guys were all shaming me when I said that the Warriors were going to the conference.
I agree
or him,
with you.
Him. I thought you were shaming me when you were saying the Warriors were going to the conference finals.
Exactly, and they beat the Warriors, which is not that impressive.
Oh, I'm talking to you. I thought, okay, never mind. But the Warriors are not like, I like them for the playoffs, but they're not.
They're gonna make the conference finals.
I think they will.
Okay, let's not talk about
Regardless.
that. That's wrong.
The Celtics, are you serious right now?
Yes.
In a top 3 team?
Top three.
Top three.
Top three.
Top
ahead
three.
of the Jazz.
Ahead of
the Suns.
Yes.
Clippers.
No, he had
Oh,
the
do you have
Clippers
Clippers?
seconds.
I had the Clippers second. I think they're ahead of the Jazz.
Ahead of the Nuggets?
100%.
You're crazy.
They're ahead of the Nuggets. The only team that I would put maybe with the Celtics right now is the Suns. For that 3 spot.
The Celtics haven't even beat that many good teams. Who have they beat that's good in this 6-game winning streak? They beat the Blazers by 1 point. They beat the Warriors, which
Still
is
a
an
win.
okay team. Okay, they beat the Blazers and the Warriors.
They beat, I know the Lakers, they do not have,
Don't you say the Lakers are good because they're not.
they beat the Nuggets, they blew out the Nuggets. And
Blew out.
Jamal Murray played.
Yeah, that was also Malone played the bench for like 2 quarters and they went on a 31-3 run.
Okay, that's not the Celtics' fault.
Okay, I know it's not, but I'm just saying there's no way they're a top 3 team right now. Absolutely no way.
I think overall,
I think the Knicks are better.
no, overall, okay, we will get to that point in a second. Overall, they're definitely not a top 3 team, but right now, yes they are.
No, they're not.
Yes they are.
So you're telling me you would pick them over even the Nets, who have no James Harden right now, the Nets, the Bucks, the Nuggets,
The Nets just
Suns.
lost to
barely-
the Heat today.
Okay, but
Don't
the
care.
Nets barely lost to the Sun or the Sixers without KD and Harden.
I mean,
They had Landry Shamet was their leading
No,
scorer.
KD played.
No,
I'm pretty sure he played today.
no,
today, yeah.
no,
I'm
he's
about when they
talking
played
about
the
the
Oh,
Sixers.
yeah.
Kyrie played and he had 39 though. In that
Okay.
game.
And
I still think right now
Scoring over 30 is like not even rare anymore.
that's kind of true.
It's not at all. It's
I would
like
say it's-
scoring 20.
I don't.
That's wrong. But
Okay, it's like scoring. If people were scoring 39 this often back then, it would be way more crazy than it is.
well, yeah,
It's so much more common.
it is more common.
That's what I'm saying. Scoring 39, yeah, that's impressive, obviously, but
I'm just saying,
It
there's
doesn't
no
help the
way you
case.
can pick the Celtics over the Nets, the Bucks, the Nuggets, the Jazz, and the Suns right now.
I think you can easily pick them over the Nuggets. I think you can pick them over the Jazz. In terms
Without
of teams
Mitchell,
that are-
without Mitchell, I think they're still really good without Mitchell because they have Clarkson to fill that in, and Clarkson is amazing.
he's incredible right now.
He's
This
really
season,
good.
he's been so good.
Yeah,
that is true.
he's a guy you just want to have on your team right now.
But I still have the Celtics at number 3. And
All right. Well, that'll wrap it up for our
Power
power
rankings.
rankings.
welcome to this episode's play breakdown. Top of the 9th, McNeil, a line drive down the right field line, and Blackman here as McNeil rounds second. Blackman hits his cutoff McMahon. McMahon throws to third, and Fuentes with a tag, and he prevents McNeil's triple. McNeil was trying to get the Mets an insurance run there to end this game, but no. And that'll do it for this episode's play breakdown.
Thank you, Avi, for the play breakdown. On to this week's bold takes. I got the Jazz winning it all. And before you guys go, regular season team,
That's exactly what I was going to say.
okay, why are they a regular season team?
Because they've never won in the playoffs.
That is, they're a very good, whatever you call franchise. They're a very good franchise, right? They've been to the finals, 6 times?
Yeah, Ben.
Okay,
Been.
that's better than most
It doesn't
teams.
matter their franchise, though. We're talking about their current team.
Yeah.
Their team is very, very good this year, and it shows with their record.
Well, yeah, it does.
The Suns are a regular season team because they
Why-
haven't made the
why is
playoffs
that
in
different?
years.
The last time the Jazz made the playoffs, they gave a 3-1 lead to the Nuggets.
3-1 lead.
Yeah, last year to the Nuggets,
Choking.
a Western Conference team, finals team.
Okay, but that was in the first round.
Yeah, first round of the playoffs.
Flippity-flop.
But
They're
the
gonna go
point
to
is
the
they
finals.
challenged them, and that was a completely different team. Rudy Gobert is a $210 million player now.
Not a completely different team. I mean, some of their players got better, I agree, but they're not a completely different team.
They're actually relatively like the same.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
they move the ball better than any team in the league.
Okay.
great.
They're
Good
good people.
for them.
I agree.
All
They're
you guys
good.
are saying is that you don't think they are, but why don't you think they are? Other than the fact that they're a regular season team.
Yes, that's
Because-
exactly why.
Why are they a regular
The
season
Lakers
team?
are a postseason team because they've never won.
They literally are winning every single game now, which is the
In the
regular
In
season.
the
playoffs, Gavin.
playoffs.
Last year they challenged the Nuggets.
And then they should
And
have closed
lost.
that series in 5 games.
Donovan Mitchell has shown that he can go off for 50 on any given night.
So is
And he
literally
had no
every
help.
star in the
Jordan
NBA.
Clarkson was not the same player that he is now.
I agree they've gotten better. That's why their record is better, but they're
And
not
every
ready to
team
win the
this year-
finals yet.
Okay, and who are the postseason teams this year? Like the Lakers, the Nets. Okay, from the West,
The Lakers, the Clippers, the Nuggets.
the Nuggets.
Yes.
Okay, fine,
Yeah.
Nuggets, whatever. Lakers, they're banged up, right? And they so they're
They're
also
also talking
be,
about Donovan Mitchell with a high ankle sprain
He's
right now.
fine.
What?
Jamal Murray tears ACL. He's fine.
Ankle sprain is a little different than a torn ACL.
Still, he's out.
He's not fine. He's injured right now, and the postseason is coming up.
Okay, whatever. He has a boo boo. He's fine.
He's not fine. He's injured.
Yeah,
You guys are just saying that they're a regular season team.
because they've never
They
won
are
in
a
the
regular season
playoffs.
team. That is
What are
the-
you saying? Have the Clippers ever won in the playoffs?
They made it further than the Jazz.
Yeah.
Because they have 2 top 10
Exactly.
players on their team.
Exactly.
Yeah, but you guys are saying that they're a postseason team. Like, why?
Because
they won.
no.
Actually, you beat
because
Mavericks in a series.
Wow, they beat the Mavericks. Also, the Jazz are going to be a number 1 team, right? Or a top seed.
potentially.
Yeah.
If they get the 1 seed, they're going to be playing. They could be
Oh,
playing Memphis.
Hold on, I'm just recalling.
Memphis.
You're
Hold
gonna
on,
say something about
I'm
Golden
recalling.
State. You're
I'm
gonna-
recalling a memory.
You're going to say something
I'm
about
recalling a
Golden State.
memory that said that the Warriors are making the conference finals.
They are.
How are the Warriors going to make the conference finals if the Jazz are going to beat them in the first round? The math just does not add up.
You want to explain yourself?
Because the Jazz are not going to be the number 1 seed by the end of this
Oh
regular
my!
season.
Actually, the Warriors are going to be the number one.
The Suns are going to be the number 1 seed.
So you're
I-
telling me?
So then they play Dallas.
It's going to all happen. Just
You're
trust
telling
me.
me your playoffs are the Jazz versus Warriors in the conference finals.
And both of them are going.
To the championship.
No, I don't. You guys are so annoying. Stop talking about past episodes.
What?
Things change.
So you don't believe the Warriors are going to make the conference finals anymore?
No, because Curry just runs over.
What changed last?
He just had
He just
47
Yeah, but they
last
lost.
night.
But they lost. But they
Oh
lost.
no, he's contradicting himself.
No, well, actually, what
No.
happened is I watched the Jazz, and they are incredible. They're so good. They are.
Wait, can we just
You
bring
know,
in
I
a?
actually watched a
Can we just
Rockets
br-
game last night, and they are the best.
Can we
team
just
in
bring
the
in a
league.
quote
That
from
is
last
so
week?
much different.
Avi, can we just bring in a quote from last week? I just remembered this. He said, "Oh, the Jazz are gonna go in. We're way better than the Warriors. Oh, they're the 8th seed. All we have to do is guard Stephen Curry, and
In
they're
a
gonna get
7-game
overconfident."
In a 7-game series, that doesn't matter. In a 7-game series, that doesn't
I would like
matter.
an apology for all the
No,
things you said.
no,
because
because that was a week ago. That was a week
and
ago.
your complete
Things change.
Your perspective. That was not a week ago. That was like 3 days ago.
Yeah.
Week ago.
3 days
Okay,
ago.
however long ago it was, you are mental.
I
Just thinking
agree.
that the Jazz
steal
are
my line.
winning it all. I'm gonna steal whoever's line I want to
All
steal.
right, what's your bold take?
My bold take
Oh.
is that the New York Yankees will not make the playoffs. They won't do it.
You're
What?
They won't.
Why? Just because they're 5-10 right now?
They're 5-10, and I think in the MLB teams get in slumps, and I think the Yankees. Are
yeah,
going-
and it's the first 15
MLB
games
Let
of
me
the
explain.
year.
Let me explain. I think this is just the beginning.
There's 150 games left. You don't think they're gonna turn it around?
I think they're gonna.
They're
There's
gonna be in a
no
slump.
way.
They're finishing the season 5 and
Hold on.
100.
There is no way a team as talented as the Yankees is not gonna make the playoffs. There's no way that's
It's
happening.
not happening. I'm
They're
telling you.
projected to maybe be in the World Series.
What take is more crazy, mine or his?
Just because you contradicted yourself, maybe yours, but
No.
But currently,
It was a
his.
week ago.
a week ago.
Whatever.
All right. Either way,
His is
that makes
crazy.
no sense. How is a team like the Yankees not going to make the playoffs? I mean, if you have them-
Injuries.
okay, yeah, you could say that about any team.
They just. Oh, okay.
You could say that about any team.
Their best pitcher was pitching today, and they lost 4-2.
Okay.
Wow, they lost one game.
Yeah, with their best pitcher pitching.
Yes, a lot of teams.
A
lose.
lot of teams lose with their best pitcher pitching.
I understand that, but like,
Take the Rockies, for example.
you don't want to talk about the Gavin.
They
you do
lose
not,
every game
That's
with
not
their
true.
best pitcher because we don't
Hey,
have a
we won
Yeah,
with
we do.
Marquez yesterday, so
And he's a beast.
Wow.
Either
What a
way.
game.
Gavin, do you know who that is?
Yeah. He's
what's
the
his
pitcher.
What's his first name?
Don't challenge me.
Alright.
I don't follow the Rockies.
It's
They're
actually
so bad.
Herman.
I actually do that.
Either
I
way,
just didn't want to say
you
it.
can't say that the Yankees aren't going to make the playoffs. How are you going to say that? They're
It's a free country, I can say it.
okay. Good for you. That is just a ridiculous take. That
I'm telling you, the Yankees will
Also,
not
I
make
think you
playoffs.
guys are sleeping on DJ LeMahieu. I think he was a decent player for the Rockies,
right.
and he's on the Yankees now, and I think that's a good addition for them.
Nah, he's been on the team for a while now.
Not really. Like, what, 2 years?
Like
No,
3 or 4 years.
No, he's
not
not.
Booker.
No, he's not.
He was
It's been
definitely
like-
on their team last year.
Last year
Last
was the
year
first
was
year.
his first
Last year
year.
was the
Was
first
it?
year, yes.
Last
Oh.
year was his first year.
Okay, either way, the Yankees are much better than a non-postseason team.
I also think their team, besides LeMahieu, are just a bunch of swing for the fences kind of guys.
Yeah, but
that's
they're
kind
good
of true.
swing for the fences guys.
Brett Gardner is not a swing for the fences guy.
Yeah, but
Fences
Aaron
guy.
Judge is.
Aaron Judge and Stanton
Stanton.
and kind of Gary Sanchez too.
Yeah, but
Luke
when you
Voit.
yeah, but when you have that many guys that swing for the fences that are pretty decent, pretty good at
they
it.
have an amazing rotation, amazing
Yeah.
batting lineup.
I'm telling
There's
you.
just no way this team is gonna. Every team goes
Also,
through
I
some-
think he's
something.
contradicting himself. I'm pretty sure you were saying that the only team that can match up against the Dodgers is the Yankees.
That was before they just started the season.
And this was a week ago. My point.
No, it was like
Curry a
three,
week
it was
ago.
like 3 days ago.
It was a week ago.
That was on Thursday. Today is Sunday.
That's like
3 days.
5 days.
I'm just saying.
In Mars time, that's like a year.
It's not happening.
Why?
Alright?
Why is it not happening?
Because I think they have some big names in their lineup. They have a lot of big names in their lineup, and they have good pitchers. I think pitching is not going to be their problem. I think if they're to not make the playoffs, their hitting
Their
is
batting lineup is like top 3 in the MLB.
on paper.
Yeah, okay, not on paper, top 10 at least.
I mean, I disagree. I
Okay.
think here, let's look.
Good
right,
for you.
Right now they have 55 runs scored. That is tied for last in the American League. That's
It's been 15 games, Avi.
Yeah.
still.
How do you know they're not just starting out in a slump? There's so many teams that we expected to be so much better than they are currently.
Who besides the Yankees?
The Cardinals have a losing record right now.
Okay, who else? That's 2 teams.
Like the Mets are not that good. They just beat the Rockies.
They're
which
7-4.
doesn't count.
They're winning their division.
Okay, there are just plenty of teams that aren't doing as good as we expected.
Who? You've given me 2.
Okay,
One
I'll-
other example.
I'll give you more examples. How about the Padres, 10-7, and there are teams that are better than we think. That the Nationals, the Braves,
The Nationals are not going to be. They're not supposed to be that good.
they're supposed to be okay. They made the World Series 2 years ago, and the Braves
Okay,
almost
the Braves.
beat the
I
Dodgers
agree.
last year.
I agree with the Braves, but not the Nationals.
I do agree with the Nationals. I mean, I obviously
yeah,
brought
because
it
you
up.
said it.
The Rays, who just made the World Series, they're 500.
Again, they're still better than the Yankees.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, a lot of teams aren't doing as good as we expect them to. Because it's like, and the Pirates are like 7-8, who are supposed to be the worst team in the MLB.
I would say the Rockies are supposed to be the worst team in the MLB, and they have
Okay.
fulfilled that.
Yes, the Rockies have.
All right.
Alright, my bold take for you guys is that the Heat will lose in the playing games and will not make the playoffs.
I agree.
No.
Yep,
no.
I agree. I actually I really do agree, to be honest. Think about this. The teams that they're going to be playing in the play-in game are either going to be the Bulls, with the addition of Vucevic, the Wizards.
I don't think it's going to be the Bulls. Yes,
Okay, the Wizards, who are really, I think they're a good team. I mean, they have 2 All-Stars on their team,
The Heat
right?
are
and,
not.
And if they drop, then which they won't, but they could play the Pacers.
The Pacers are.
And the Pacers are a good team.
Right now, they would be playing Charlotte.
Yes, Charlotte. I think
Yeah.
Charlotte's going to beat them.
No way! Who's the best player on their team right now? Gordon Hayward.
Terry Rozier, Gordon Hayward.
Gordon Hayward.
There's no team-
Devontae Graham.
That
Miles
chemistry.
Bridges.
Devontae
The
Graham.
chemistry that the Charlotte Hornets have developed this year is unmatched by any team in the NBA.
The Heat have pretty good chemistry, I
Yeah.
would say.
They will. They do.
but-
I agree. But I'm
Besides
saying-
LaMelo Ball and maybe Gordon Hayward and sometimes Terry Rozier, the team is just not a good. They're not going to win in a play-in game against the Miami
why?
Heat.
It's one game.
The Miami Heat just went to the finals.
So
Yeah, and they're not the same team clearly because they have almost a losing record right now.
They were not last year. They were not like a number 1 seed.
They were a number 4 seed.
Exactly.
What do you mean exactly?
That's very different from a number
The
one.
East is horrible, and they're the 7th seed. The East is literally terrible.
I don't think it's that bad.
What?
The Hawks are the 4th seed. The Hawks.
The Hawks are the 4th seed.
Second-
the Knicks are
Their
the
second
6th
best
seed.
player is John Collins.
The Bulls might make the playoffs. The Wizards might make
The
the playoffs.
Bulls are not a bad team.
Have you seen them recently? They look horrible. They look like G Leaguers.
I mean, yes.
They look like G Leaguers. Hey,
The East is
Andre Miller, or what was the guy name from who got called up from the Lakers? The like 43-year-old
Andre Ingram?
Ingram. That guy was the best G Leaguer of all time.
Okay. I don't know how that came up. But either way, the Heat are not a good team right now. Like, they are just really... I know they just beat the Nets. That was a pretty good win, I'll admit. But I don't think in a one game... If there were a 7-game series against any of the teams below them, I agree they
There's still
Yeah.
15. I
Okay,
agree.
ready?
No,
It's a one-
wait, hold on. I agree that they're not
It's a
very...
one game. It's one game.
And
And
I
the
think-
Charlotte
listen.
Hornets are one of the younger teams in the
And
league.
they're excited. to
And
be
they're
in this
excited. They're
And-
in one game.
So are
I
the Heat. They're on a
totally-
revenge tour. They
How
just
are the
lost-
Heat excited?
They just lost to the
The
finals.
Heat are
And
down
they're gonna
bad.
lose again if they get there. Because there's something called LeBron James.
Okay, but it's not about the finals. It's about a playing game. And
Yeah.
I understand they're not hot right
The
now.
Heat have all the pressure on them.
I don't
They
think-
just made the finals. They need to prove that they were not a fluke.
I don't
And-
think they're hot
Because I
right
think
now.
a lot of people think they
Yes.
were.
They still have 15 games left in the season to get hot, and I think they will. And then if
What
you're...
makes you think that?
What do you mean, what makes me
Yeah,
think
Just
what makes you
lost
think
to the
that? You can't
freaking
just say that.
Timberwolves.
Okay, I think that the Heat have players on their team. Take Jimmy Butler, for example. These are experienced
They
players.
lost to the Timberwolves.
They may still be a young team, but Tyler Hero has been to the finals last year. They've been in a situation where they need to
Just
win
because
games.
Tyler Hero has
Yeah,
a song
and-
about him doesn't mean he's like an all-star.
That's not my point. My point is that they have experience. Not necessarily in age, but if it comes down to one game against, even if it's Charlotte, Indiana, the Bulls, or Washington, they're beating all 4 of those
No,
teams.
not all 4. They might
Okay,
be.
you think that they'll beat Washington or the Bulls?
Yes.
Why?
Okay.
Why Washington?
Well,
Why Washington?
Okay, Washington, besides Westbrook and Beal, suck.
Okay, and they have Westbrook and Beal.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Mr.
Okay.
Hey,
the
you
Lakers
were not the.
besides.
Hold on.
Or Drummond, Schroeder.
Okay, they just
Kuzma.
got Drummond. Okay, you
All right.
could literally say that if you take away the top 2 players on
Hold
any
on,
team.
Gavin. Let
The
me.
Nuggets without Jokic and Porter right now are suck.
Yeah, they
You could
do.
say that about every team.
Hold
in the
on,
league.
Gavin.
No, you
can
couldn't.
I need to.
90% of the teams.
I need to point out a contradiction.
You could say that about the Heat.
I need to point out a
No.
contradiction in Avi's
Yeah.
statement real
What?
quick.
What is your contradiction that you want to point out?
Avi just said that the Warriors were making the conference. I know I'm using this twice, and I used it for you, and now I'm using it for you. You said the Warriors are making the conference finals. What the hell are the Warriors without Curry?
Dude, but Curry is a different breed, okay?
Beal is like the leading scorer in the NBA right now. Maybe behind Curry. I think Curry might have gone past him, but
But Bradley Beal is not Stephen Curry. Let's make
I
this clear.
don't
No
think
one
he
is
is.
Stephen
But
Curry.
I don't think Curry has Russell Westbrook by his side, or another All-Star by his side.
Just saying that there's a reason that the Wizards are 10 games behind 500.
Yeah, because
I
they never play with
completely
each other.
agree.
Russell Westbrook.
Exactly.
Okay,
They
but
never played with each other.
in a playing game, Russell Westbrook has a ton of experience. He's a winner. I could totally see
Russell
them.
Westbrook is not a winner
Yeah.
at
He's-
all.
He is
No, not at all.
competitive. He's one of the most competitive players in the league.
Great.
No, he is a winner for sure in the first rounds.
The Wizards
In the
have shown that they
playing
could like win in pressure situations, even though they're
They
kind
hit
of
buzzer beaters against the Nets.
yeah. They've shown that they can beat the pressure and win. And the Heat are just kind of choking this year. They're really not playing well.
They
They just lost.
Have
to the-
they gone
they're
on
in a
win streak
they're in a
longer than
situation
3?
where they need to like win a lot, and they just lost to the Timberwolves.
I still think you guys are forgetting the fact that the Heat are a game and a half out of not even being in a play.
I agree. If they don't make the playing game, that's a different story. Because that might happen because the East is so horrible. But
And the team that they're behind is the New York Knicks.
yeah, and the Knicks are somehow better than them, which kind of says a lot.
The Knicks are good. They're decent. I think they're a good team. They're not.
You
They're
did
a
not
sleeper.
just say that.
They're not that bad.
They're pretty bad.
They're having the best year in 5 years.
Yeah,
for
for
a
the
reason.
Knicks.
Well, yeah, but they're not that bad.
They're pretty bad.
No, they're not.
Also, the Wizards are on a 4-game win streak right
just like the Pelicans.
And
I think
then
the Pelicans are not that bad. They just can't win somehow.
Exactly, they can't win. You need to win basketball games to get.
But
an
I
NBA
think there are
Finals
there are teams that
I know, but I'm saying
are just better in pressure situations, and I think the Wizards are one of them.
The Wizards right now are not even in a playing game.
Yes, they are. Oh no, they're not. They're tied with the Bulls,
Yeah, that's
and they're totally gonna overtake them because they play the Thunder, and that's like kind of.
and the
easy.
Bulls are G Leaguers.
Yeah, the Bulls are terrible
Okay.
right now.
I think.
All right, bottom line, Avi just doesn't know what he's talking about at the moment.
I think the Wizards are going to lose to the Thunder on Monday. They play the Thunder Monday at 6:00. They're losing
The
to
Thunder, aren't they on like a 10-game losing streak
They're like
right now?
basically the worst team in the league, but it's going to show that the
They
Wizards
literally
They
can't
have like
win
that
precious
19-year-old.
They've literally lost by like 30 points in like 10 straight games.
Yeah, but they have that 7-footer like Plushage or something.
They've lost 9 straight.
And he's crazy.
Pokashevsky.
Well, apparently Pokashevsky's gonna be incredible.
Pokashevsky.
That's not.
He might be good at some point, but that's not the guy you're talking about.
I mean, they
I
do
don't
have
think that's how you pronounce his
Lou
name.
Dort.
Pokashevsky? That's his name.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, it does not look like Boguszewski, but I believe
What do you think it is? Like Pokashevsky?
it ends with a J.
That's how it looks.
All right, well, that's just not the smartest
I
takes by Avi
disagree.
today. You know, imagine saying that the Yankees won't make the playoffs. I can kind of see where you're coming from the Heat one. I'm not going to call you crazy for that.
The Heat won only because they might not be in a playing game. I honestly think if they're in a playing game, they're screwed.
Yeah,
They have so much pressure.
I agree. But the Yankees
And it's not like the
making
teams they're
playoffs,
playing are going to be terrible teams. They're going to be decent teams.
Eh. I mean,
Well,
any team in the West would wipe them.
Yeah.
Wipe the floor with them.
Except for
Literally,
Memphis.
easily. Yeah. No, even Memphis.
I would.
Memphis is underrated.
Yeah, Grayson Allen is incredible.
All right, that'll wrap it up for Bold Takes. Now, time for the trivia answer for this episode. Once again, the question was, who has the most career double-doubles in NBA history? Your options were Hakeem Olajuwon, Tim Duncan, Wilt Chamberlain, and Robert Parrish. And the answer was Wilt Chamberlain. So, yeah, if you got it right, congratulations. If you didn't, just wait till next episode. See if you get it right then.
I hope you enjoyed this week's episode of 5280 Real Talk. Don't forget to subscribe and follow our Instagram at 5280 Real Talk.